Good afternoon. My name is Scott Rudler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead.
大家好，欢迎收看今天的直击美股，我是赵冰晶，在纽约向您问好。今天是5月的最后一个交易日，5月的最后一个交易日呢，三大股指微幅下跌，道指下挫了20点，标普500指数以及纳斯达克指数呢也是微幅下跌。早间公布的经济数据出现了微幅的不及预期，二手房的销售数据不及市场的预期。纽约时间下午2点，联储公布了这个月的经济发展褐皮书，褐皮书显示出大部分地区的经济发展呈现出温和扩张的态势，但是波士顿以及芝加哥地区的经济增速放缓，纽约地区经济停止增长。那么具体的信息呢，我们来进入今天的焦源采访。Hey Scott, Dow Jones dropped 20 points and also Nasdaq and S&P they closed lower, but major indexes still post monthly gains. You think will continue to reach new highs?
You know, today it felt as if they were going to shake the tree, and then all of a sudden you had these market-on closes with huge buys, pretty much to mark up the month. So sometimes it gets tricky because, you know, you think that they're coming in to mark up the month, so perhaps you could sell into it, but then all of a sudden you have new monthly flows the next day. So to me, it's a pretty tricky spot because I'm seeing divergences among so many sectors. But if you look at the chart of the S&P cash, the trend is still intact. We are still above this prior resistance, okay, that has now become support. We're still above the 8-day moving average. So until that breaks, it's hard to get too bearish. I know there's a lot of people out there saying that we're overvalued, that Trump's going to get impeached, et cetera, et cetera. But all in all, we came in, tested the 8-day, bounced off it. So we'll see with a little bit of time if we can continue to hold above there. Then I guess off to new highs in June, and we'll see whether or not the measured move of 2440 happens. But for right now, a little bit tricky. If you got long here on the red dog reversal, on this reversal, took some profits, you got to figure out whether or not you want to re-engage here. And today definitely shook things up a bit.
Well, concerns about Federal Reserve may not raise interest rates twice more as they promised, put pressure on the bank sector. So can you give us some color on financials?
They look pretty bent. Like we talk about the Trump trade like being, exhausted. Well, it's been exhausted for a while, but now it's, it could actually become a headwind. So, these banks that we've been watching that I've been trying to just not really trade, to me looks still pretty bearish. But, until this pattern triggers, it's going to be hard to get downside follow through. So at this point, maybe we get the downside follow through this summer, maybe we don't. But the XLF keeps building and building and creating this head and shoulders top pattern that if support gave way and if we broke this key level here, that would produce some downside in the overall market. It'd be hard to ignore. You look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has already hit the 200-day, and usually Goldman Sachs leads the banks lower. So at this point, you have the S&P all the way up here, and you have Goldman Sachs on the 200-day. That's not very healthy. Then you look at JP Morgan also. JP Morgan has a similar pattern to the XLF, and this, which is considered, in my opinion, best in breed bank, already broke below. So with that being said, this to me, this pattern already triggered. So if this is a real pattern here below the moving averages, you have 95 down to 85, you break 85, you shouldn't be a buyer of JP Morgan until here, and that means it breaks the 200-day. So the banks to me are in a void or a short until otherwise noticed.
Well, technology was very strong in May. Amazon finally reached 1,000 milestone. How long will we continue to flirt with 1,000 as Amazon dropped a little bit today? And will you consider to buy more in technology in June?
Well, you know what? The 8-day, 21-day is your friend. Everyone's saying technology has to rest. It has to rest until you get a break below the 8-day or the 21-day. Technology and high beta tech is best in breed. Today, when it looked like finally, the kissing of 1,000 by Amazon was a sell signal, boom, it roared back at the end of the day. So you look here, still above the 8-day moving average, hanging out right here. Okay, here's your 1,000. At some point, it probably gets above it. I don't think this is the highs of the year. It's just a matter of what's it going to do this summer. Still, last time we had a breakout here. First, you had to have a failure before it regrouped and went. Okay, then it did it again. But all in all, Amazon is above the 8 and 21-day moving average, a lot different than the financials and the small caps. So that trend is strong. You know what? You have also Facebook. The trend is pretty strong, right? Is it above the 8 and 21-day moving average? Yes. Okay, actually it came in and tested the 50-day. So we'll see what happens there. I will say Apple's a little wishy-washy. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the next day or so because it did not lead the market the way Amazon and Google did recently, and you have this upper wedge. So if this were to break to the downside, maybe that'll take some of the life out of or the momentum out of tech, and then we see a bit more of a corrective action in the weaker sectors too. So let's see what happens with Apple the next day or so. Does it trap these shorts here today, or did they just stop out some uncommitted longs for then higher action? I think we still need to see if the iPhone 8 is coming in September, okay, or is it later? If you hear September, okay, I think you buy as much Apple as you can. If you hear November, December, then I think we break down to the 50-day.
All right, that's what we have today. And tomorrow is a new month.
Yes, new month. We'll see if new flows come in and how we start. But as of right now, if you're a little flat-footed, if you got stopped out of some of your longs like I did, you know what? You'll have enough time to reconvene, let the market do some price discovery. And if you're very active, that's the way you have to handle your process. Because sometimes one of these big downdrafts leads to more downside, and the only way you stay safe is if you reduce when that happens. You can always get back in. At least you'll get back in with a better plan.
好的，以上呢就是今天节目的全部内容，感谢您的收看，我们下期再会。